What is up, guys? How we doing today? I'm here. I'm just Iowa Caucus was last night, so I'm here just kind of go over the results and tell you what I think it means going forward um for the primary. Trump won big, and that's it. That's the end of the video. Not really. Basically, it is. That I probably should stop there, but I need to talk. I'm gonna talk a little bit more. What I want to do first is I want to show y'all this video of Nikki Haley afterwards. Trump won, like I said before, but this is Nikki Haley at a rally after it was announced that Trump won.
I can safely say tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
She came in third. She wasn't a close second. She wasn't a far second, but got blown out. But Trump still won big. She was third behind Ron DeSantis. It was Trump, Ron DeSantis, and then her. I don't know what she was doing, thinking saying it's a two-person race. Yeah, I don't know. There's a chance. I'm gonna go into saying how this could be a two-person race, and actually maybe, possibly, not likely, but maybe be somewhat competitive. Again, not likely, but yeah, we're gonna pull up the results right quick, and let's pull up the results, and I'll show y'all what's going on. As you can see, yeah, Trump won with 51% of the votes. DeSantis came in second with 21.2, Haley 19.1. It was a major, it was dominant victory. I don't Trump won every county except for one, which Nikki Haley did win one county, which I don't even, but it's not looking good for anybody not named Trump in this primary. I don't even know what Vivek Ramaswamy ended up getting. 7%, but Vivek, unsurprisingly, after this, Vivek dropped out of the race and has endorsed Donald Trump, which I mean, we all knew he was going to do that. He's basically been running Trump is awesome. The core message of his campaign, or maybe even this, maybe not the core, but the secondary message was Trump is awesome. So I don't know. I kind of liked Vivek. He said I thought he was right on the Ukraine war, Israel. He's a bit of a China hawk. His whole thing with bombing the cartels in Mexico is fucking crazy. So there's shit like that that's not fucking good. But I thought he was by far the most interesting and clearly the smartest person in the primary. But yeah, so now I'm going to go into what I'm going to start talking about. I'm going to talk about how this can be somewhat turned into a competitive race, because this was just one primary, one state. But I'm going to say it's kind of what the polls showed, and kind of what the polls show in every other state. So polls are most generally right. Something funny. That made me think. Trump supporters, they're talking about when they talk about the polls in the general and they're losing, when they were behind Biden and Hillary. It's like polls don't matter. That's not real. But now that Trump's way ahead, they're like, look at the polls. Why are we even doing this? So in general, polls are most of the time fairly accurate. Even in 2016, when they said Hillary was going to win, they were right. She won the national popular vote, and pretty close to what the polls said. there was like 3 states where the polls were wrong, and they were all within the margin of error. So just in general, polls are right. Trump does tend to actually do a little better than polling say, but for the most part, polls are accurate. This all hating them. It's like, no, they're that's why that's called a margin of error. Like they give you that. Like whatever the polls say, then they say plus or minus 5 is for margin of error. Like that's included in most polls. But is there any way Donald Trump isn't the nominee, barring him not being allowed to run because of crimes and whatever else there's going on? Maybe, and there's not much of one because what would need to happen is Ron DeSantis and Nikki. One of these two needs to drop out, and really, it's only one of them needs to drop out. Like one of them, and it only works if one of them drops it. A specific one drops out. But even if they did, like you add their stuff together, it's what 40.3. So they're still 11 points behind. 11 points behind Donald Trump. And now Trump, all of Vivek's support will go to fucking Trump. So, like, assuming again, this is one state, but assuming all the other states are going to be pretty close to this, it's basically over. If Nikki Haley drops out, Ron DeSantis could have a shot of making it somewhat interesting. He'd still probably lose, but it could make it interesting because no one who supports Nikki Haley, like none of Nikki Haley's support, or 99% of Nikki Haley's support, will not support Donald Trump. So that will almost all of her stuff will probably go to DeSantis, which could make things interesting in states coming at but I don't know. Like it could he came in second, she drops out, endorses him, he gets momentum going, things could happen. Not likely. On the flip side, if DeSantis drops out, Nikki Haley's toast. There's no way for her to win because the majority of Ron DeSantis support will go up to Donald Trump. Like I'm not saying all of them. There's probably 25% of his supporters would be my guess would maybe go for Haley, but the majority of them, they're people who like Trump. They supported Trump in 2016 and 2020 and liked his policies. They're pissed off about how he handled COVID. And I think it's time to move on from a 77-year-old. Like, let's get 80-year-olds out of here. Like, that's really DeSantis's core is people who I like Trump. I like his policies. Let's get him out of here and get someone younger in there. Or Trump, you really fucked up COVID. DeSantis, you did great on COVID. And DeSantis did okay on COVID. He didn't do great, but he did better than most. So that's the only way I can see this even becoming somewhat interesting is if Haley drops out and most of her support, or if not all of it, goes to DeSantis, and he still probably loses pretty convincingly. I still don't think it's close. Trump still walks away with the nomination probably, but that could make it somewhat interesting where it's not going to be over by where we're still paying attention later. But at this point, by South Carolina, all things stay the same because Nikki Haley's not dropping out. She's running to be VP. So she's staying in to probably possibly just hurt DeSantis and then hopefully get VP, which, God, that'd be awful. I don't know why. I don't know what value Nikki Haley brings to any, the Republican base obviously doesn't like her. I don't think moderates are that crazy about her. Oh yeah, let's go bomb country. to have another Iraq war, I don't think is very appealing to people. So I don't really understand what Nikki Haley will bring to the table if she's VP. But I know, like, you Trump has said hasn't said he's not considering it. So, and hasn't said that she won't accept it. So, like, I think that's what she's doing. She's keeping DeSantis, possibly just staying in to keep DeSantis down to possibly become the VP. Um, but yeah, even if he drops out, it doesn't matter. Like, it's looking like by South Carolina, this is all going to be wrapped up, and that's kind of that's the Iowa caucus. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any comments on, like, you want to have anything, call me an idiot, think I'm dumb, agree with me, give your opinions on on what's going to happen going forward. Um, if you're a Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley supporter and they actually think there's a way they could win it, I know I kind of laid out a possibility, but it's not going to happen. Even if Nikki Haley drops out, Ron DeSantis still isn't winning. But if you're a Ron DeSantis supporter and think he still has a shot, tell me how in a comment. But yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.